Okay guys, I'm going to pick right back up where I left off with talking about subsidiary ledgers and controlling accounts. All the information is taken from the Century 21 accounting book written by Cengage. So let me get situated here. For this chapter, for this moving forward, we're going to be using subsidiary ledgers. So also referred to as sub-ledgers by some accountants. These are the ledgers that are summarized in a single general ledger account. So there's more to this than what meets the eye when you just see, hey, we have $19,000 in accounts payable. Well, who do we owe money to? And that's why we have subsidiary ledgers. A business that is a merchandising business that has a lot of assets or supplies, they often purchase their stuff from a ton of vendors. So we have these subsidiary ledgers so we can record out each vendor. As you can see here, accounts payable ledger. This is a subsidiary ledger, but we labeled it accounts payable ledger. So this contains all those vendors in a business. So I'm going to do a little explanation on my own. Let's see if I can get so we have these little, I'm going to take away the book. We have these little pieces of paper that I made for you to understand this. So I have accounts payable subsidiary ledger. I'm going to zoom out. So this is what we're learning about, subsidiary ledger. This is that ledger account that summarizes all the accounts payables. So accounts payable subsidiary ledger. Then I have my general ledger, which we learned about last time. We know what a general ledger is. That's where we recorded all those informations. Let's see if I could pull one up for you. We recorded all of a company's expenses and whatever in the last chapter. We recorded everything in these subsidiary or in these general ledgers right here. General ledger, recorded cash, petty cash, everything. So we could look in here and see what our balances are. So that's what the general ledger is. Next, subsidiary ledger, new. This is new. So in our general ledger, we have accounts payable. I'll prove it to you. Accounts payable in a general ledger. Right here is the general ledger. Accounts payable. We found it right there. We can see how much our balance is. We could see it for Lakeville Supplies. We might not, as this company from 8-1, we might not have a lot of accounts payable. So we don't really need a subsidiary ledger to break out all those accounts payable accounts. We just need one, or two or three, because we don't have a ton. We're not borrowing a ton of stuff from people, so we keep track of it, but we don't need a subsidiary ledger to break it down even further. But for somebody like, let's say, I want to see what name the book, 3 Green. Let's say 3 Green Company. For someone like that, maybe they're a corporation, 3 Green Corporation. They are constantly buying stuff on account from companies. First one, vendor, Henry's Lighting. They owe Henry's Lighting $300. They owe Mobley Tools $200. They owe Chuck's Furniture $200. They owe Bernie's Chemicals $600. And they owe Staples $400. Okay? So in their subsidiary ledgers, they have a ledger for each one of these. Each one. If we recorded it like this in the general ledger, we would add up all of those and realize we have $1,600 in accounts payable. So we do have subsidiary ledgers for these accounts, but in a corporation, we have both. So we have subsidiary ledgers recorded for each account. Then we record our total amount in our accounts payable account. That way, no matter who you are, let's say we're a financial advisor, we want to look at the information. So we're going to go to our general ledger account and say, okay, we see $1,600 in accounts payable. Who do we owe money to? Who does this company owe money to? If you're a corporation, you can sell stocks publicly. So if I want to invest in this company and I see they owe this much money, I'm going to say, to who do they owe this much money to? Well, let me see, because their financial information are actually public. Accountants work on them, make their financial statements public, and I say, wow, okay, they owe Bernie's Chemicals $600? Well, that's interesting. So it's kind of like, so we can go into this. This is the first step, but then we could dig deeper into here and read a little bit deeper as to who they actually owe money to. Or if we're the CFO, Chief Financial Officer of a company, we could dig in a little bit more and see, you know, where is our biggest vendor? Who do we owe the most money to? So we open, I'm going to clear this out. We open up an account or up a ledger form like this on this top page. We have subsidiary ledger form. So it's very similar to our general ledger where we had the account title, the account numbers, we would have the items, the date, the post reference, debit and credit, and then our balance, our running balance. But with accounts payable, specifically the subsidiary ledger, we know that our accounts payable never has a debit balance because accounts payables are always credit balance. Because of our T accounts, after eating dinner, let's read comics, liabilities are always a credit balance, always. So what the work together problem asks us to do is to open an accounts payable ledger form. So we go ahead and do that. It says, start a new accounts payable ledger forms are given in the working papers. Your instructor will guide you through the following examples. The problem is 9-1, page 197 in your working papers. So it says, start a new page for an accounts payable ledger account for Warren River Supplies. So the first thing I want to do, new page. So let's say this is filled with exactly this information, just filled from top to bottom, filled. Well, we journalized everything we could. We reached the bottom. There's no more room at the bottom. I'm having you use your imagination. We need to start a new page. Well, we always need to carry over the balance from the previous day or the previous whatever the balance is. So it says start a new page for the accounts payable ledger account for Warren River. The account number is 240. The balance on October 1st of the current year is $1,489.50. It gives us all that information. They just want you to practice writing. The vendor name, Warren River. Account number is 240, vendor number. The textbook gives you that, 240. Okay. This comes from the 2. When we did the chart of the accounts, I'll show you here. We did the chart of the accounts. One more page. Assets always have the 1s. Liabilities always have the 2s. So this company is not in the 2000s. They're only in the 200s. So 240. Then we just write the date, October 1. The word balance, because we're bringing over the balance from the previous work, from the previous ledger account. We check mark it because previously we realized that it was already posted, and we put the credit balance in as $1,489.50. This is just how we transfer over a balance. If we were putting in a new amount, we would debit and credit it. But since no new amount is being put in, this is just the previous balance from the day before or the month before. It's the page before. Previous balance from the page before, we only have to carry it over. Okay, then we do the same thing. Start a new page for accounts payable ledger for Zodiac Industries. So I'm going to write Zodiac Industries. And vendor number is 250. So whatever we see Zodiac Industries, it's always going to be 250. We want to keep consistent with that. October 1 is the date. We write the word balance. We put a check mark in the post ref column because we already had posted it. Our previous page had told us that. And then our credit balance is $2,491. $2.80. Okay, so that is how you open up or bring forward to start a new page the balance from before, because we want to stay consistent and we want to make sure we're not just leaving these numbers out. So that was from the previous day. Again, there's a lot of key vocabulary in this chapter or in this lesson. It's good to start studying your vocabulary words and understanding some of the differences between retail and wholesale, corporations, and proprietorships. These are some good questions to go over. All right, good luck, and rewatch the video if you have more questions.